Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are continuing midweek magic. It's actually near the tail end of the midweek, but by tomorrow it's kind of the start of the weekend. But semantics aside, we are going to be continuing our venture into this future standard precons. We already did the allied colors in the previous video. We're now going to be doing the enemy colors. We're going to actually start off with, I actually haven't decided if I want to start off with white-red or white-black. I'm really excited to do white-black because if you've seen the previous video, it seems to be doing really well. Anyway, let's start with that one. I've heard that white-red is doing the rounds as well. So this one is pretty much about getting the advantage from venturing into the dungeon. So, well, let's start with the one card that doesn't venture into the dungeon but takes advantage of everything else. Thunderous Orator takes advantage of the fact that a lot of our other creatures have incidental abilities. Like we have Ranger's Hawk here, has flying. Cloister Gargoyle has flying with once you complete the dungeon. We have a single Null Priest of Oblivion, Menace and Lifelink. Let's see, Gloomstalker has double strike if you complete a dungeon. Yeah, that's on the list. Nadar has vigilance, but that doesn't matter, or already has vigilance. Acererak doesn't have any. Oh, and Wanty Fangblade has Death Touch. I think Barrowin, no, it has no abilities. But otherwise, that's the random mention. Also, Triumphant Adventure has Death Touch. Otherwise, for the most part, this is all about venturing into the dungeon as much as possible. At least get one dungeon through. Our removal suite is a bit on the expensive side. We have a Vanishing Verse, 2 copies of Precipitous Drop, a Silver Quill Command. Yeah, kind of removal. You just have no real control over it. Closing Statement is probably the best removal here in this sense. And we have ways to keep our creatures alive. Primarily the 2 copies of Demonic Gifts. I actually hate this card so much. I played against it. It's especially in Precon versus Precon where removal is at a premium. Being able to air quotes counter a good block or counter removal with this guy, very annoying. But otherwise, that's pretty much the play. And the deck is otherwise very straightforward. We're actually gonna go dungeon delving. Why not? As usual, we're going to do at least 2 games with each deck. So, and we're going to see how they all stack up against each other. Do watch the previous video. Like, share, and subscribe if you have not. If you want to see what the good stuff was previously, what was good, what was not good. White blue. And we'll take advantage of the free mulligan. I'm not playing Malakir Blood Priest by itself. Also, this one's very mid-rangey in terms of mana. So you kind of want to have at least 3 lands. This is temptingly close enough. I'm gonna keep this. We're probably gonna get wrecked. We're gonna get wrecked by this though. I really don't like playing Null Priest Oblivion at 2, but we might not have an option. Yeah, we're still gonna lose. If we can get 3, opponent is on the blue-green ramp deck. They will get themselves a 2/2. We do hit our land, but it's a bit on the late side, so we might as well swing now. The nice thing is that we have Closing Statements live, so whatever our opponent casts out, maybe we wait on that. I want to cast Nadar right away. I'm trying to remember what the removal suite here is. Probably want to cast Cloister Gargoyle first. See if our opponent had. I remember this is mostly ramp. So there we go. Probably don't want to do Dungeon and Mad Mage. We want to get through one as soon as possible. We'll do Pendle Haven. Also because we need lands like that. So that's a good strive for us. We'll swing with these 2 because we have no reason to. Yeah, opponent's just ramping. So our closing statements are going to be relatively good here. There probably should be a snake. I think there's a snakeskin veil in our on this side deck, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, opponent's about to cast something big. I'm hoping it doesn't have an ETB effect that wrecks us. But otherwise, it's a good reason not to run Nadar out immediately. Yeah, it'll take us a while to venture the rest of the dungeon, but so be it. Berg Strider. That's a good tap down. So we hit that. I guess I could cast this now, but let's see what are our other options. +3/+3, draw a card, loses a life. Yeah, we have to be careful. We only have like one more of these. Hopefully I can use Silver Quill Command instead in the next one. There's also the alternate line where I just leave that alone. That's only like dealing 4 damage. It already did its job. Shaya, which that's fine. We can still nuke this. It's not on our turn. I'm gonna put it on the spread the love a little bit. So that takes care of 2 of their big threats. Unfortunately, I know they have more. The Kraken is still a potential liability here. So I probably don't need to do that quite yet. I'm gonna go for the cheap venture. This has trample, so probably want to make a treasure token, and I don't mind doing the -4 for next turn. Though now I kind of regret putting this here. It does make it a good way to block the snow-covered island if one decides to attack with it. So return target creature with mana value 2. Okay, so lose that one. So we get cheap. We get a cheap venture this way. I'd rather actually cast this. Well, let's cast Nadar first. We kind of have a way to get it back with Barrowin, if I'm assuming that guy survives. So, target creature. This does not have trample, so that's in. But this one does. We can also just finish the dungeon now. And there's no reason to hold that. Because that will also make Nadar live. Also makes the Cloister Gargoyle live. Let's draw a card. Get ourselves another Ranger's Hawk. Opponent probably has some fight spells, but well, we're swinging now. Opponent going for the super ramp. So if our opponent hits, okay, doing the mass card draw. So they haven't hit the Kraken yet. We don't have that much time though. Like this guy is if our opponent swings with this, I'm just gonna bounce the Null Priest on it. This gives us a chance to cast Silver Quill Command to get this guy back. Opponent likes the top 4 cards, so that's not good news for us. Also makes me think that probably that one closing statement a while ago might not have been that great. But we are sitting on a healthy 24 life. We could just use some more removal. I would like to have some copies of Power Word Kill here. So the interesting thing is our opponent's incentivized to actually snipe Barrowin because I just swing with him, it gets some guy back. Yep, opponent sees that line, does that. So probably we might just take the 12. Oh, they did have the Kraken. So this does not untap. This is kind of fine. Opponent has a sculpt. They're just unloading. They did ramp quite a lot, and they. So I'm actually gonna take the hit here. It's painful, but it's still. Oh wait. Opponent not having reach. So saving that Silver Quill command till the end really helped us. Does our opponent have nothing that really matters? Yeah, nothing that really matters. So he managed to get there just by getting some early aggressive damage in and making sure our life total is healthy enough that we were able to take a massive hit. So as I said, we will do at least 2 games though. So we're gonna go for a second one there. The dungeon delving deck is actually feels like a top contender for me here. That definitely everyone's gonna be doing the Lost Mine of Fandalhaven because that's the quickest one to do. So we got Orator into Fangblade. That's a good one. We also have alternate Orator into Closing Statement if need be. Dungeoneer, it's ETB. I hate that that does it late. This I think is green black. So I'm no, green white. It's a life gain deck. So we might have problems here. I'm actually gonna let our opponent gain some life a bit and oh wait, we can't actually hit this. So wait, we can hit it with Closing Statement. But primarily, I want to use the Vanishing Verse on another particular creature. Let's see if they drop the Lurking Roper. Take the hit because they're... Yeah, because there's... Opponent is greedy in doing that now. Let's see if they have more than this. So we take a big chunk. Go white. Opponent might have another copy, but let's just get it out of the way now. Prosperous Innkeeper, so pretty much just life gaining at this point. They do. I like that there's a lot of incidental ramp, even if it's temporary. Like we got a lot of treasures between the black-red treasure deck and like random. Prosperous Innkeeper throws us a bone. I mean treasure. Good idea. So I'm actually gonna play Ranger's Hawk here. We're not gonna start venturing quite yet, but this does allow us to have Vanishing Verse open, and gives us a 3/3 flying vigilant creature for the most part. Now, if I'm not mistaken, wait, no, two-handed weaponry does. Choose your weapons. The choose your weapon spell is in green red, so I don't think we're not gonna get sniped out of the air incidentally. We kind of still want mana, but I'm willing to just drop the Fangblade next turn if it gets to that. Opponent going for Cleric class, so they're going for massive life gain. The only benefit is that we have... Oh, they could also have Minimus Containment. which is... So I actually have a choice here. I can actually... Hold on, let's see what if our opponent attacks. Nope, does not attack. We'll save the Vanishing Verse. So there's another Orator, but we're... Opponent concedes. Looks like what happened is our opponent got really... did not have the best hand. I don't think our opponent was out of it quite yet. But that's... But I feel like that was a premature concede. But I'm not going to do another game for Dungeon Delving because we need to go through all the other decks. So that's white-black. What are the things that I would probably change here? The removal suite, I'd probably... I'd probably streamline the removal suite a little bit. I do like Closing Statement. I might... But I might want to have Power Word Kill in addition. Alternately, the Minimus Containment, that a few of those is not too bad. As far as creatures, Blood Priest... Yeah, we can gain quite a bit of life here. We have Incidental Party. Actually, that's something to look into. Like the Ranger's Warhawk, if you're activating this, you're in a really tight spot, or you really have nothing good to do. So this might... I'm not sure if this guy's gonna stay. We might look into the party mechanic here. Like we do have almost all four. Yeah, we have all four relevant party types in line here. We have quite a few clerics. We have quite a few wizards, which is probably the most important part. We have some warriors, albeit I don't really like this one because it's just an ETB for 3/4. Probably want to look into other warriors, but that's a basic plan there. The Gloomstalker is annoying when the dungeon's complete, but kind of needs help when it hasn't been completed yet. Cloister Gargoyle is a lot better though, because it contributes to the venture. So, but that said, that is white-black. So black, red. So the next up is we're gonna do the Growing Hunger deck. So this is black-green. It's all about getting creatures to die. It's all about getting +1/+1 counters, a lot of them. In fact, a lot of the cards that take advantage of +1/+1 counters in both Silverquill and Witherbloom back in Strixhaven, those would be good fits here. So yeah, we have an Ochre Jelly. I kind of wish we have the Ooze here also, but also we have the skeletons, but we don't have skeletons. But we don't have skeletal swarming. A bit of flavor fail. I would really ditch the exponential growth, but I might be wrong on that one. But otherwise, this looks like a solid mid-range deck with quite a bit of removal. I probably should have paid attention. But most of the removal again is creature-based. I might streamline it more towards Black's Flavor of removal. Again, Power Word Kill. Flunk is not a bad one. So the Dusk Mage is not so great. This is very slow. I'm willing to take a free mulligan because I know there are some 2-drop cards we can use. Okay, maybe I should not. Because some black-green is an issue. I'm gonna mull one more. Okay, this is better. Oh, we did have Power Word Kill. So Death Knell Berserker's fine. Tenured Inkcaster is gonna take quite a while, so I'm actually gonna go with that. So I'm gonna go Berserker into big play. We'll see what our opponent has. So this is the Landfall deck. I'm not gonna spend Power Word Kill on Hellhound, but we will have some interesting decisions. I'm actually fine with playing Moss Pit Skeleton early, if only to get some benefit off that. Like I can use this to trade something. Then if counters are put on a creature, like say I play the Haggard Constrictor, this gets back on top of the library, which is not ideal. I kind of want to draw other cards at this point, but it is an option. Brushfire Elemental. Looks like our opponent's gonna go ham on this. Oh, they're going super ham. We can't block the Brushfire Elemental, but we can block a Akoum Hellhound. I probably will. Yeah, we have to conserve damage here, so we'll block the one that we can actually block. Hit another mana, so I'm actually gonna leave this up. This gives us power word kill and big play. It's a shame that big play doesn't untap, but it is what it is. Also, big play gets us Moss Pit Skeleton back. Let's see what our opponent drops as a follow-up here. They did... Like, they can go for a big Vastwood Surge to, like, pump everything. I'm sure they would love to do that. Scale the heights. Put the +1, you may play... You know what? I'm not letting them draw a card. No, you're not drawing a card. Then the opponent feels incentivized to swing because I'm pretty sure there's no shock here, so then that gives us that back on top of the library. I'm actually gonna decline because I have another way to do that. Yep. And with this, now we put on top of the library. So at least we cleared the board, and the power word kill very good until the moment we run into a deck that has Angels, Demons. What are the other two? Angels, Demons, Dragons, and Devils. Okay. Opponent goes for the Royal Eruption, gives us a 2/2 zombie. They could have gone. They probably should have gone for this one, but heck, you do you. I guess this feels more mana efficient, so there's some logic there. But now our opponent has to deal with the fact that they probably need another one of these, or else the menace is going to kick in. I think there is dragons. No, there's no Dragon's Fire. So I probably hold this guy back. I swing for 7, take them down to 4. Evolving Wild's not so great this time. But also a struggle for Schem 4. And that does it actually. Well, so yeah, we did kind of need to have the right removal and the right spells at the right time to make all this work. But we did survive having to mull down to 6 cards. So, well, we did get a free mulligan. So, but that's still something to consider. Other cards I might consider adding Sarulf. That one gets counters very easily. We do need to have a more aggressive control scheme by a lot more removal. Well, there's between Binding the Gods, Power Word Kill. Or I could use a few more options there. Yeah, definitely Death Knell Berserker is good. Moss Pit Skeleton is always fine. Having the early PWK is very good as well. So I might just lead. So opponent goes Lotus Cobra. Now this feels like kill on sight. It feels like a waste to do this, but actually I'm thinking this through. Our opponent gets to 4 mana at most. Yeah, I figured something was up. So I'm gonna offer a trade. I'm not gonna take a trade. I'm gonna play the Death Knell Berserker. I like Tenured Inkcaster, but maybe not this many copies. Looks like our opponent is kind of semi-stuck. I don't think they're semi-stuck. I think they might actually be stuck. Oh my, that's not good for our opponent. In that case, I'm just gonna foretell this for now. We'll save the power word kill for their next big threat. Okay, they finally hit the mana, so they're up at 4 now. They could just spend the 4 and just draw a card immediately if they're that desperate. No Spirit of the Alder Guard. That does tutor them a bit. We'll snipe it now. We're already feeling some regret in not sniping the Lotus Cobra. That might have been a bit too cruel, but that probably makes the perfect sense there. Opponent's gonna... Oh, opponent leads me. Okay. I'm actually willing to... Not yet. Let's just swing with this one. Next turn we can do Tenured Inkcaster, put a counter on, say, the Skeleton, so I get 2 3/3s, then I can start draining them a bit. Opponent goes Eureka Moment, which is not something you want to do when you're being beat down. They might have another land, so they could just tap to play it, though they can do that on my turn. They don't have to do it now. In fact, what they can do is they can Blizzard Brawl. I think that's fine. And because we get a counter put on, we will put Mospit Skeleton back. And so we're now kind of holding this back because we have Binding the Gold Gods as an option. Our opponent's probably going to drop one of their big cards, though... I'm trying to remember if they have a 6. I know they have 7s and 8s. Berg Strider. They have a 5. Tap 1 down, locks it down. Yeah, sure. We'll probably just Old Gods the dude. Now, I know we're the ones with Snakeskin Veil. I don't think this deck has Snakeskin Veil, something to keep in mind. Also, if our opponent doesn't block, we're effectively doming them for 4 each. Opponent onto Desperation mode. Now, they might have a Kraken, which will buy them a turn because it taps both of these down. We'll probably just cast Skeleton Kick. Bubble Snare. They did not need to kick it. That was very weird. So we Swamp, Forest. ETB's tap, so might as well just get Woodland Chasm. Now, no point casting this now. Basically just making this into a really must block. Also note that the Binding the Old Gods has the extra benefit of like making this guy Death Touch, so if our opponent drops a big creature, I just swing with this guy anyway. There is really no need to kick it. The extra mana you could have been spending to draw cards. What the hey? Oh, it's over now. So Tenured Inkcaster is actually good as a finisher here, so maybe we just got... I don't know, I would say we actually got lucky drawing this many copies and having enough time to play a lot of other stuff early. It was a bit nerve-wracking to have them all in their opening hand, in the early opening turns, but it's fine. So Growing Hunger, so looks like the enemy colored decks are doing really good. Well, so what are the things I would change? I did mention adding Sarulf, that's probably a good idea. Swarm Shambler is also another possible addition. Ochre Jelly is really more of a late game spell. The Promising Dusk Mage is probably the one I would rather cut. Now Berserker is fine because it's a 2-mana 2/2. It gives you an extra creature. This one just gives you a card, which usually sounds very good. But there is a big difference between paying 2 mana for 3 mana. Ranger class, everyone's been talking about this. I probably would just add more of this. I know there's also Gnarlid Colony, which adds Trample, because right now we only have Menace. Adding Trample is probably a good plan. Master Symmetrist also gives Trample, so maybe that's a reason why it doesn't have it. Though, yeah, if I'm going to be running cards like Master Symmetrist, the Dusk Mage is not a fit because it will never get square stats. Everything else gets square stats, so yeah, it's pretty much the Dusk Mage that's the odd one out. That's an easy cut there. Struggle for Skemfar, again, very good with Foretell. I might also supplement with Poison the Cups a bit. But the big play is very good there. Fastwood Fortification, it's kinda cute. Not too sure if we need... The Exponential Growth is a very easy cut. People can see it coming from a mile away. Yeah, if you have the... If you have the Trample, it's good, but can't rely on that all the time. Anyway, now on to the deck that our opponent was piloting, and yeah, there was no reason to kick the... They were casting it on creatures that were already tapped. I guess if they cast it on the ones that were not tapped, okay, makes some sense, but no, they were casting on tapped creatures. Anyway, so this is green-blue. This is all about the snow, so we get... We get Mana Ramp through Sculptor of Winter. We get Mana Ramp through Emergent Sequence. Avalanche Caller gives us emergency creatures. Spirit of the Alder Guard gets us our lands. It's basically super ramp into something really big. Actually, there are a couple of 5s as well. But for the most part, it's about these expensive guys. I think we can do slightly better in what our creature selection is, but I do like having the Kraken at least. Not too impressed with Simone, but we'll see how this one goes. Again, I think like our opponent could have easily been drawing cards with all that excess mana, and considering that they were in such a deep hole, they needed to draw those cards. Anyway, we do have an early 4. We have an Avalanche Caller into a Blizzard Brawl if we have to. We don't exactly have ramp, so that might be a good reason to mulligan this. I'm gonna actually mulligan this. I think we kind of want some ramp, so we get some ramp. We don't get green colored ramp, but that's fine. We'll keep this one. Also note that we can only ramp the blue. We can't ramp green right now until we hit Spirit of the Alder Guard. Thankfully, I suspect if I play, as soon as I play this one, it's gonna get removed, which is a bit of a downer. Yeah, Black Red has Dragon's Fire. This is gonna get killed. So we're kind of at the mercy of having the 4th land. Emergent Sequence is also an issue. I think we have Wolf Willow Haven. I need to double check if Wolf Willow Haven is... Opponent has a very late Sellsword. So we're gonna go for the ramp. Well, sort of ramp. It's more like tutoring. Well, next one locks down the next thing. Our opponent has a very slow start for a treasure deck. They haven't exactly played much. I will offer the trade here. Because our opponent is all about getting early aggro, denying that from them is a big deal. So when it becomes tapped, they exile one card, it grows it. Yeah, minus. Yeah, tap that. They get a free counter, but we do get to fight with Blizzard Brawl, and we do have enough snow-covered lands to make it count. Ugh, Red Dragon. We can brawl the pred. We can brawl the Predator. It might force our opponent to sack this. Let's see. It might actually force them to sack this, so it's a good thing I didn't cast the Bubble Snare right away. So, both indestructible, which is fine. And now to make sure it stays tapped. And we don't get the extra benefit, but we might as well cast this. So at least we lock down the one of the worst possible threats in here. We are a long way from getting booked. Opponent's forced a Deadly Dispute, which is actually fine. It deals with it pretty much, and this does not have reanimation. So actually interesting. Hoarding Ogre. One, two, three, four, five, six. Now the plan is to actually start denying treasures, so we are gonna lock down the Hoarding Ogre. They might have another Deadly Dispute, but it will cost them the treasure, which is actually not too bad. They might have a response of some sort. Yeah, most of their cheap cards benefit on treasures. They do have a few cards that just benefit off tons of mana that they don't really need the treasure. Like my next play is pretty much like that. I really hate this guy. Oh, he went for bringing back the Predator. Wow, that's gonna be so annoying. And this one can get it has haste indestructible. Oh wow. Yeah, I never got to play with this guy, but I already know that the black-red deck is reasonably good. This one just kind of cemented it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I might as well play Spirit of the Elder Guard. Let's get another forest. I will swing with Bergstrider. I actually thought our opponent would do the -X because this is a big enough threat, but bringing back the Predator, that's probably just as good as well. Skullport Merchant. So we're about to get beat down quite a bit in the air. Our wait, opponent's gonna start drawing cards. I approve. Which is why I locked down the Hoarding Ogre when I had the shot. There is another Bubble Snare. Another Skullport Merchant. So if our opponent swings with this, I'm just gonna swing with Spirit of the Elder Guard. It's not like we need to block anyway. We do get the Bookworm. Also need to remember that if Bookworm somehow dies, we need to get it back ASAP, or else Predator is just gonna get it. might be drawing a few too many lands. The problem is, next turn, this becomes a 6/6. Opponent's gonna start chucking merchants down the train. If we can't answer this, we're gonna lose. Kalane Reclusive Painter. Yeah, we need that Bubble Snare. A Bergstrider would be fine too because it locks down for one turn long enough for me. I'm assuming the last card is irrelevant. Otherwise, our opponent probably would have cast it already just to seal. No, they're gonna cast it. They're going to seal the deal. Oh no, they're gonna look for cards that are relevant. That's even. Yeah, cash him in. I actually don't mind him cashing in here because it means they can't cash it in this way. I do mind the fact that I'm drawing land after land after land. At least the Hoarding Ogre is not feeding the Skullport Merchant, so there's that bonus. But yeah, this is a good game. We never drew out of this. We would have needed this thing to have a way to get trample somehow, but yeah, but yeah, we died on the back of rares. That's usually the case in precons, but at least we understand the concept for the most part. Icebreaker Kraken would have been great also, but we never drew that item. So we can safely concede this one. So probably want more. We probably want more Krakens. We probably want creatures that eat. We want some form of ETB removal, like some way to fight. Unfortunately, the one that has ETB fights, that's in Eldraine. No, that's in Ikoria. So that's not an option for us right now. I'm trying to think if there are any other cards that we don't need to use a spell for. That said, the one I was talking about earlier, like cards like Gnarled Colony, basically having kicker, I would probably add a kicker element to here because sometimes you need to play cards early. You can't just keep. So I'm gonna keep this one. We have the turn 1 Ascendant Spirit, depending on what our opponent's colors are. I can also opt to just Emergent Sequence to do a quick ramp, then Spirit of the Elder Guard, then we probably just do a quick tech ramp on this. I don't remember which color set this is, but I'm gonna cast it anyway. It might incentivize our opponent to remove it. I do like the idea. Okay, so it's green-black. They do have ways to remove it. I'm going for this kind of early just because we have a Blizzard Brawl option. I can just play Emergent Sequence in Blizzard Brawl if I need to. Like against this guy. They do end up with a 3/3 Hydra, but what am I gonna do? Is just sit back? Okay, we have our other snow-covered islands in our forest. They have the option of blocking. More likely we're just going to end up taking, so we're going to take quite a bit of damage, but we do get options. Like I can choose to cast Elder Guard. I can choose to I forgot they had struggled with Skemfar, so we're kind of behind at this point. Quantrix Cultivator is a good one though. So the problem right now is we're ramping, but we're not hitting any payoffs, which is an issue. I suspect our opponent has a big play. Which is why they did that. Drastic fortification. It's actually not that fine, but could be semi-worse. Yeah, we were flooding really badly here. We're probably gonna need to use Simone to start drawing cards, but even that might be an issue. Like right now, my plan is to just block this one. So far, opponent shoot, they have Drana too. Well, we are. I did say we are forced to block. But now what's this? This gets. I know we are the land deck, but that doesn't mean we're supposed to be drawing this many cards. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna do a double check on how many lands there are here. It's possible it's just a fluke. So let's see. This gets back a non... Okay, gets back some good stuff. So we're not quite dead yet, but... Wow. The flood is... in your graveyard. Oh, they don't... It's... I choose non-legendary, so they don't get anything back. This one's not relevant. This one's not too... I just cannot afford to take too much damage. Yeah, you don't get anything back. Oh, come on. I don't need another Simone. We do get a Blizzard Brawl, but it's not going to kill anything. Okay, so... Yeah, this one's very sad. I actually think that the green-blue deck has some options, but... Okay, I'm gonna say that it's probably just coincidence. Otherwise, I'm going to say that we probably should be adding cards that help us draw cards. Because, yes, we want to ramp up into big stuff, but how many actual big stuff do we have? 1, 2, 3. We only have 3 actual big stuff. The rest are relatively easy to hit. So we have 21, 20, 24, 25. We only have 25 lands. It doesn't feel that much. And we have actually been taking some lands between the Cultivator and the Spirits, so I guess we can chalk this up to really bad luck. But that said, we probably want to have ways to keep digging into our deck, especially because we only have 3 really big ticket items. So we probably want to be looking into cards that help us dig through more cards. Not exact... Well, I would love Brainstorm, but we don't have that there. But we probably should be looking for options like that. Gretchen's probably on the weaker... Well, it's actually better in the sense that we could use her to block a lot of stuff, so I don't mind that much. I probably don't want to have 2 copies of Simone. I probably would want more Ascendant Spirits because that's a way to get some action early. Blizzard Brawl is fine, but we need some good mid-range cards to go with this one. The deck assumes that you're going to hit one of these, but what happens if you get a clunker like what I did last time? You're not going to get much. I probably would consider adding more fractals. That's kind of what they did in Strixhaven, and it is a good plan. Definitely will add a learn lesson package here. Like Field Trip is a very good way to go about that. Now, status green-blue, not that exciting. Could use some work, but the concept is there. We're now going to go into blue-red. It's the Fireworks deck, so this one's all about dealing excessive amounts of damage. Hopefully, you have Agar on the battlefield so that you get to draw cards. I probably might add Toralf here because if that seems to be the team, but otherwise it looks like it's all about casting. It's essentially a Magecraft deck. I like having a Demi-Lich, but I don't know if we're going to be able to cast this reasonably. You kind of want to have ways to generate treasures, and this deck does not have it. I would also love to have another high cost spell. I probably would love to have a Magma Opus in addition to the creative outbursts. So it's about getting discounts. You get discounts with Kaza. You get discounts with Maelstrom Muse. I don't think I'm that too excited about this, but we'll see. We'll give this one a shot. I would definitely consider adding dragons like Galazet Prismari and Goldspan Dragon just to fit Dragon's Fire in, because we do that is a good way to get overkill. So as it is, we have an Orc Wizard into Mentor's Guidance. So yeah, Orc Wizard. Pledge Mage is an Orc Wizard. I probably will cast Mentor's Guidance because opponent's in the life gain deck, so if our opponent drops anything that remotely needs removal, unfortunately the Demon Bolts won't hit the Roper, but the Fireball will. So we're gonna just go Mentor's Guidance first because we need to start drawing cards. So Arcane Investigator, it draws us cards, but we don't want it this early. It's like we're not gonna active. The Meteor Swarm's good though. We just need another red source. Okay, fine, we'll keep it. So we get a bit of an early start. I might even consider the option of just foretelling both Demon Bolts if our... Did our opponent just keep a 2/3 and get stuck? I'm starting to see people who are not mulliganing to a plan. Basically, figure out what your plan is. Our opponent has 3 mana at the worst case scenario. They should have had at least a 3-drop ready. So we're gonna do another game of this one. Though that one felt very. That one felt very unsatisfying. But yeah, the blue-red deck is does have potential. I can see ways to improve it. And there's nothing wrong with adding dragons. So yeah, this time we have the Arcane Investigator. We have a Demilich on hand. We don't have actual spells, which makes me concerned about keeping this one. I actually want to mulligan this because, yeah, I have a turn 2 play, but this hand is only good if I have even a single spell. I could wait to draw it, but let's just mulligan. Okay, this is better. We got Agar into Mentor's Guidance. It's not as good as the Pledge Mage plan a while ago. But it's a wizard. Opponent is playing green-black though, so I don't expect Agar to live long enough. If we can draw a Pledge Mage, I would actually like that because it gives us an excuse to cast Guidance instead of anything else. No. So yeah, no, I'm not a fan of having these later starts, especially in Precon decks, because a good percentage of them have early 2, 3, 4 shots. Like, our opponent's gonna drop a 3-drop, and it's Hagra Constrictor. I could have used you earlier. Where have you been? No, I don't want to play let's see. Yeah, because everything's a 4 anyway. Let's see. And this doesn't have an ETB. This one requires instance. Let's play it. Let's give our opponent something to remove. We don't have any damage spells right now, so I don't mind losing 1 copy out of 3 of Agar. It gives us a reason to drop Maelstrom Muse next turn, so we can we're gonna be taking quite a bit of a beating from Hagra Constrictor. I'm assuming our opponent has a big play. I'm gonna force our opponent to use it. Snakeskin Veil. Oh, that's actually fine. Big play would have been worse because the Berserker would have survived, and now I'd have to deal with another menace creature. The trade is better. So at least we know our opponent is going pedal to the metal here. Opponent has Ochre Jelly. So I did say I will do Maelstrom Muse. This gives us a blocker for this guy. We will be taking 4, which is painful. Next turn we can do Pledge Mage Guidance. Our opponent could do a big play now. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm gonna block with this. I'm assuming they have a big play. No, they didn't have a big play. Do they have removal? Wait. All the removal is not predicated on the toughness. A fight spell, perhaps. Okay, that makes some sense. Yeah, we kind of need to cast spells, but I also kind of need to have blockers at this point. So we're actually going to just drop both Pledge Mages. If my luck holds out, I would have a land, so if in the event I were to lose both of them, I can just Mystic into Mentor's Guidance. It's still not looking good for us, to be honest here. Like, I know the deck has a good amount of removal. Okay, Symmetrist is not bad. It just gives it Trample. Yeah. Probably want extra red. Now this is only in cast, so the extra copy doesn't benefit. I'm just doing this to refill our hand because we are in such dire straits now. That's a good one to keep. That's a good one to bin. Another Pledge Mage, so okay, that's a plan. Also note that this has reach, so we're not swinging with Mystic anytime soon, not without casting Demon Bolt. Inkcaster, wow, that's gonna be annoying. Oh, it also means that this is out of range. Hold on, so we are forced. This is good though. It gives us a chance to block this guy. It has Menace anyway, so first we have to snipe the Inkcaster. There's no way around it. We also get to cast another Pledge Mage, I suppose. And this is instant, so no, I still want to. There is an argument for sniping Hagra Constrictor. Yeah, we're gonna snipe the Hagra Constrictor instead. The reason for that is so that we can block 1:1 and have extra blockers on the side. So they'll be left with a 1/1, which is at the beginning of next end step. Drana is a problem. We need to have a bolt. I'll take Thundering Rebuke, actually. That was very good timing. Yes, I'm kind of throwing Archmage Emeritus this way, but... Oh, opponent conceded! Okay, that was strange. Our opponent could just attack... Oh no, yeah, they could have just attacked. Well, it would have been a last chance heroic attack, but... we did manage to survive that one, so... I like the concept of Fireworks deck. I probably would want to re-supplement some of the burn. Like, I love Demon Bolt, I like Thundering Rebuke. I'm probably gonna supplement this with, like, with a few more dragons, and add Dragon's Fire because we can get overkill damage that way. Torbrand is a possibility. Archmage Merit is kind of fine. Rock Slide Sorcerer. It's 1 damage to any target. Oh wait, have I been saying Torbrand? I mean Toralf. You know, the Tor analog. The Chris Hemsworth card. You know what I mean. Basalt Ravager. So maybe some of these 4-drops could be consolidated to even more spells. 1, it will help the Demilich out that way, but 2, we can then be on the lookout for cards that have good Magecraft triggers. Like there's the Pledge Mage, but I also want to consider the Prismari Apprentice because that one grows really quickly with enough spells. And also we can start supplementing a Treasure Plan. But otherwise, that's the blue-red deck. Again, really solid. We're down to the last one. It's Armed and Dangerous. Let's take a quick look. So it's pretty much get creatures and get equipment. I think, yeah, we're kind of 50-50 there. The removal here is not so great, so we're reliant on having our creatures kick ass and chew bubblegum. We do have... So we do need to at least hit 4 reliably. The other cards are kind of incidental here. 18, 22, 23, 24. We do have an Axe Guard Armory. I probably would replace this with Fighter class. Because right now this one's all equipment. No auras here to consider. Resolute Strike. It's a shame that Hammer is not is not technically legal for this one. I would love to put a hammer on. I might also make some adjustments so that since we're running warriors, I might make adjustments to have as many warriors as possible. Like at least Brunor is a warrior, but we get questionable ones like Arnie, not a warrior. The Dwarven Hammer is great, but it makes Berserker tokens, so it's still probably better and at least comes with a beat stick. A single copy of Nahiri is probably something to consider here. Warrior. Yeah, and the Kitesail Clerics, it's pretty much here to make sure we have something that flies, but we might as well just add like more mauls or find another way to give them flying. But we'll close out this one with 2 games from Armed and Dangerous. We're gonna see how well the red-white deck does. I've seen some people say, oh, it's really great, but I feel like I have the same misgivings of any A plus B mechanic. For this to work, you kind of want to have the A and the B together. So we have to note that at least we have Maul of the Skyclaves, and I can use Resolute Strike as a way to protect Fireblade Charger-ish. Or I can just play 2. Because at least I know the Precons don't have that much in the way of board wipes. I probably want to do okay, so it looks like the flavor of the month this time is the green black deck. I can't blame them. I'm actually going to swing with both because if our opponent blocks this one, it trades. And usually, especially in a deck that wants to have creatures on board to give counters to, they're not going to trade right away. We do have an interesting play where we have the Dwarven Hammer on hand. I can just cast it as is. Then since we have we're holding up a Resolute Strike, we can get extra damage that way. Again, this is kind of why I recommend having Sarulf as an option. Not taking that option next. Go to combat. might have a kill spell on hand, so I'm actually gonna let the first strike damage hit first. Let's see how they respond. Because a trick that I can do, they're probably gonna pump it afterwards, so okay, that's fine. That's not biggie. They are gonna be on the lookout for a kill spell though. Yeah, they're gonna swing because this deck doesn't have any anti-flyer tech. It does have a lot of removal though, so we'll keep that in mind. Master Symmetrist, interesting. That's actually fine with for us. You're actually taking it. 6. Oh yeah, because it has first strike. I'm actually gonna wait for our opponent to try to kill the Fireblade Charger and get them ready for a surprise. Oh, I wish we had ways to sack our own creatures. Ranger class. Okay, so it makes a creature. Level up. It's it's a concession. Because it gives it trample, but that's about it. And yeah, that's it. Well, technically, it's not quite a concession. They probably had no idea we had the extra pump, but that one. But then again, they were cutting it very close there. I would have assumed they would have gone for removal at that point. Anyway, let's do one more. Let's do one last game with this one. Again, we have to be careful. It's an A and B mechanic, so mulligan aggressively. Like you want to have, in this case, it's not even you want to have a 2-3-4 play. You kind of want to have a 1-2-3 play. And to think that those were the only, we drew a Kitesail Cleric, but that was way later. And again, we're relying on the quality of our equipment here, so oh, that's something to consider. So here we have, oh wow. We kind of don't want to play Kitesail Cleric early anyway, but okay. The sleeves are not a clue because you just take whatever sleeves you set to default. I'm tempted to mulligan this. Let's keep this for now. I'm gonna keep this one if only to show. So we slightly lucked out by hitting a malt of the Skyclaves. Our opponent is playing blue-black though, so there is a. Okay, they cast that one early. By casting that, they've pretty much told us they don't have did not have reject on hand. Doesn't mean they don't have removal. They have quite a good amount of it between. So this one's only an equipment, so the aura doesn't help here. This one already did. These two guys already did their job. But I'm also concerned here, though. Not much in boot. Skull Raid. We get to discard 2 cards, so we'll discard Royal Eruption and Rune of Sustenance. Now, since our opponent has 2 ways of discarding cards. It's either the Elder Fang Disciple or Skull Raid. Unfortunately, I have no way of defending against Skull Raid, so I might as well just cast this all out. Our opponent's more incentivized to actually just have removal instead. Yep, they're gonna go for the flunk. Which means that if they don't have an Elder Fang Disciple, we are free to cast Showdown of the Skulls. I'm trying to remember if they have a... I know they don't have Solid Coming. They only have Reject. Okay, so I probably don't want to play this land anyway. We do get to play these other 2 though, so that's a bonus. Now, our opponent's at 5 mana, so some things I'm concerned about here. Like the fact that our opponent's letting this all through. Somewhat concerning. We'll cast the Shield Mate first. Pump that. We'll cast the Scavenge Blade. Probably pump the Shield Mate. I don't know why. Just I'm pretty sure our opponent has some removal, which is maybe why I didn't want to leave it all together here. I'm trying to remember if they have a Flash Flyer. Tricks the Sudden Storm in... Oh, no, they just have Baleful Mastery. So next turn I have options. I can just hold the Dwarven Hammer, just equip these. Ooh, nice! Nice, natural 20. Though if our opponent's doing this under Bane Priest, that means they pretty much had they didn't have much of anything to begin with. Because opponent knows next turn we're gonna just probably equip them all. I am more likely to want to cast the Dwarven Hammer, but I need to put the aggro on early. So next turn our opponent needs to have removal for this, or this is lethal because we have a Scavenge Blade. Also note, yeah, we definitely want fighter class here. It is a rare though, so that is something to consider. Maybe that's why they didn't slip it in. The fact that our opponent's been swinging at us means that they have some removal of some sort. We can still cast Scavenge Blade, so there's the reject. Exile it instead. Not we auto pay. Let's force them to have the because yeah, if they didn't have the removal for that, this one would have been fatal anyway, and I'd rather have another creature given the case. So yeah, reject not so great. It's no Essence Scatter, and Essence Scatter is rotating out. So probably want to keep an eye on what our two mana counter spells are at this point. But there you go. We actually went through this a lot faster, only because, well, there are a few early concessions, but otherwise, I'm liking these. These are relatively solid. Again, some of the probably want to make some adjustments. It's also possible we don't go with a warrior team. We could do something like spirits. That said, the ones that benefit of being equipped are warriors, so that is one thing to consider. But I'm thinking of something like well, we don't want strict proctor because we have maul and scavenge blade, which ETB with something. Dwarven hammer, same thing. So it does make it more expensive if we do that. I'm probably more interested in dropping the runes. Yeah, it makes the equipment more interesting, but the runes have never been that great to begin with. Like, I see people trying to force the Runeforge champion deck. It's a very big miss, if you ask me. So, but probably want to make supplements to the removal package, because so far it's been us doing all the hitting. We haven't been able to really answer anything. This one might be fine for portable hold, though we probably want some actual copies of some copies of the Minimus spell. What's that? What's the name again? It's a Minimus Containment. We probably want some of those. But there we go. That's it for. But anyway, that's it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. We're gonna be getting these decks sometime soon. I actually can't wait to get them because I want to feature them in updating the precons. I don't know if I should update them, then just go ahead, or play with them first and see what the meta is. Also, we'll be playing this most likely in Standard 2022, which probably means that we at least won't be encountering Book of Exalted Deeds, although I will try to make considerations on whether this deck can beat that combo. Anyway, that's it for this episode. If you haven't done so, don't forget to like, shares, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Actually, weekend's almost near, but may you have a great day nonetheless.